We're here to idea everyone, to fire up your curiosity and connect you with the people and ideas that shape our world. Watch, listen, understand, connect, create. Let's move the human story forward together.
Hello and welcome to The Poetry of Science, a podcast which provides insight into new scientific research via the medium of poetry. I'm your host, Dr. Sam Illingworth, and each week I'll be introducing you to some of the latest scientific findings and sharing a selection of science-themed poetry. After all, we could all do with a little bit more poetry in our lives. In this episode, I'll be exploring new research, which has found that jet lag's harmful health impacts are caused by biological clock misalignment. My body is a clock out of sync, a sparrowhawk frozen on the wire, a fish gasping in the clouded air. My mind is a shadow always lurking, lost in the corner like a stone skimmed too close to the falls. Errors multiply as I lash out at all in reach, a thunderstorm of emotions raging. I know it's just jet lag, but it feels like madness. I yearn to find my rhythm and burst into the light. This poem is inspired by recent research published in the journal eNeuro, which has found that circadian disruption can cause health problems, including cancer, diabetes, and problems with brain cells. Circadian disruption, or misalignment of your body's internal clock with the outside world, can have several negative health effects. It has been linked to cancer, diabetes, and hypertension. Circadian disruption can happen for a few reasons, including jet lag, shift work, and exposure to artificial light at night. In the US alone, an estimated 30 million people experience circadian disruption due to rotating work schedules. A new study has found that jet lag may also affect the brain's ability to create new neurons. This process, called neurogenesis, is important for learning and memory. The study found that hamsters that were exposed to jet lag had lower levels of neurogenesis than hamsters that were not exposed to jet lag. The researchers believe that this may be since jet lag causes a state of internal misalignment, or desynchrony, between the body's different systems. This desynchrony can disrupt the production of hormones and other molecules that are important for neurogenesis. The study's findings suggest that jet lag may have a long-term impact on brain health. People who travel frequently may want to take steps to minimise the effects of jet lag, such as adjusting their sleep schedule before travel and getting plenty of sunlight during the day. Now that you've heard the science, let me read the poem to you again. My body is a clock out of sync, a sparrowhawk frozen on the wire, a fish gasping in the clouded air. My mind is a shadow always lurking, lost in the corner like a stone skimmed too close to the falls. Errors multiply as I lash out at all in reach, a thunderstorm of emotions raging. I know it's just jet lag, but it feels like madness. I yearn to find my rhythm and burst into the light. In this section of the podcast, I like to share a poem written by another poet on a topic related to the science that has been discussed so far. In this episode, I'll be reading Reunion by Megan Fernandez. Megan Fernandez is a South Asian American writer living in New York City. She earned a PhD in English from the University of California, Santa Barbara, and an MFA in poetry from Boston University. Her second book of poetry, Good Boys, published by Tin House Books in 2020, was a finalist for the Kundiman Book Prize and the Saturnalia Book Prize. Fernandez is an assistant professor of English and the writer-in-residence at Lafayette College, where she teaches courses on poetry and environmental writing. Reunion by Megan Fernandez. Morning clocks in and the ancient white of Venice dresses into day. I put on the Fugees in a damp church with Madonnas swelling welled in humidity, and I still have nausea from the plane where I took up a whole row and started at the seatbelt sign glowing, imagining the underbelly of the bird coated in a buttery transatlantic moon. I haven't seen you in a year now. When I do, I get jumpy, make us stop into church after church as we watch the green water churn against stone. Venice has no streetwear. I say everyone here looks like a widow. It always looks like a Sunday. Really, I'm being defensive about dressing like an American, so I stick hard to stereotypes. When we get to your apartment, you wash tomatoes, water rushing on your hands directly into the sink. You spit a small harmless seed as we sit on stools in the lime kitchen and eat them whole. Plum bodies so fragrant they make me cry, and here I am, tearing over tomatoes, jet-lagged, lagging, delaying everything with at least 3 churches in view. We're surrounded by time and God. It makes children of all of us, and I am not a stupid child. Before I left, I gathered my breath, and for what? Some grand gesture? No. We keep our heads down. We study the feet of medieval saints. We make small talk against the big year of our absence from each other. Thank you for listening to the Poetry of Science.
Thank you very much for being with us for this episode of the ideaXme Show. ideaXme is a global platform. Our mission is to move the human story forward by sharing knowledge of the future. You can find us on all major audio networks at www.radioideaXme.com, on YouTube and Vimeo. Please subscribe.